What is it for you, a journalist?
You're not.
What is it for you, a journalist?
A non-partisan media house that's recognized.
So you think that CBC is completely
Rebel News
neutral?
is not a journalism
So you think that
outlet.
CBC is neutral?
You're not a journalist. Stop
I'm
pretending to
asking
be
you.
one.
Bonjour, M. Guilbeault, vous allez bien? Je me demandais, vous avez dit un commentaire récemment que les investisseurs n'étaient pas prêts justement à construire des nouveaux pipelines. Qui a raison? Est-ce que c'est vous ou c'est M. Carney? Parce que M. Carney s'était dit ouvert justement à construire des nouveaux projets énergétiques, dont les pipelines. Qui a raison?
Ah, Madame Freeland, so scared of me that she had to ask bodyguard for traveling with her until her car.
Canada is always welcome people who are seeking refuge.
The Israeli government issuing a level 2 warning for Israeli traveling in or living in Canada. Do you have something to say?
Good morning.
Alexa Lavoie for Rebel News, and I'm reporting live from Parliament Hill in Ottawa, where MPs returned today for the first sitting since December 17, after Trudeau prorogued Parliament in January. We are here not only to cover the arrival of King Charles III, but also to put pressing questions to MPs on issues many Canadians are worried about. Top of mind, the Israeli government's level 2 travel advisory for Israelis and Jewish Canadians, urging them to hide symbols of their identity while in Canada. I asked Conservative MPs, what should the Liberals have done to prevent this deterioration in public safety? I also pressed Liberal MPs, will they finally address the 8 marches and the surge in extremism across Canada, particularly in light of the RCMP's alarming report showing a 488% increase in terrorism-related charges over the recent year? On economic ethics, I question Liberal MPs about their campaign narrative. Is it ethical to have run on a platform for fighting Trump's America while quietly lifting counter-tariffs during the campaign without telling Canadians, including the voters who backed them, expecting a firm stance? And I didn't let up on Stephen Guilbeault. He's no longer Environment Minister, now Minister of Identity and Culture. Guilbeault, a longtime radical climate activist, recently claimed investors are no longer interested in building pipelines. Yet, Mark Carney, the architect of the carbon tax and a leading figure in the net zero push, has publicly stated he is ready to back energy projects. 2 narratives again. Who is telling the truth? But at the end of the day, we all know that pipelines project might never see light under this government. You will see their reaction. Some might surprise you or maybe not. But now, let's watch. Anything to say about the Israeli level 2 warning security for Israeli living in or traveling in Canada, saying that it might be unsafe and to hide everything or signs that they have that can show that they are Israeli or Jewish?
I think it's an embarrassment for Canada.
About what I asked you yesterday about the Israeli government issuing a level 2 warning for Israeli traveling in or living in Canada. Do you have something to say?
Good morning.
The Liberals shouldn't have allowed anti-Semitism to become the norm. There's always been hatred of the Jewish people. We've seen in the last, since October 7th, this sense that it's now normal and it's trendy for people to be viciously anti-Semitic. And these are not just words. These are people that are making open calls to genocide. We've seen violent acts at some of these protests. This is not about resisting an occupation. These are people that have a hatred of Jewish people, and in many cases, a violent hatred of Jewish people. And it's disgraceful that now we have Jews being told Canada is not safe for them. This is not the Canada that I know, and it's shameful and entirely preventable if we had a government and political leadership that took this seriously when it started rearing its ugly head on October 7th.
Mr. Miller, how are you? Do you have something to say about the rise of extremism and the rise of hate march? Are you going to do something?
Last time I asked Mr. Miller I think the police have the tools that they need to manage that situation, to maintain safety for everybody here in Canada.
Violent protests that have gone on have been a disgrace for Canada, and the Liberal government has done nothing to stop it.
They're the ones that have been allowing this chaos on our streets, and we know that we continue to have this anti-Semitism run rampant across this country, that Canadians don't even feel safe in their own communities. We need to stand up not only for the Jewish communities and Jewish people right across Canada, but we also have to continue to stand with Israel as they fight terrorism.
How do you feel that the Hamas, the terrorist organization, thanks your government for the statement issued with Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron? Are you happy that Hamas thanks your government?
So I'm not doing an interview right now. I'm just on my way to a meeting.
The Liberal government wants to bring thousands of unvetted Gazan refugees.
I'm not sure where you're getting that information, ma'am. That's not consistent with what my understanding of the situation is.
What, you're going to bring Gazan refugees, no?
Again, that's not my understanding.
So are you saying that you're renouncing to it now?
No, ma'am. I'm not renouncing anything. What you have just articulated is not my understanding of the situation.
That you're not going to welcome thousands of Gazan refugees from Gaza?
Canada has always welcomed people who are seeking refuge.
We all know that the Liberals made immigration out of control. Those aren't even our words. Those are the words of the actual immigration minister at the time. He said that the immigration is out of control. Sean Fraser, the most incompetent minister in the history, I believe, of any minister in Canada.
Any quick word for the Jewish diaspora and the Israeli diaspora?
They have my extended sympathies. They're going through a terrible time, and it's because of a failure of the government to act to protect them.
We need to take extremism very seriously wherever it's showing itself. And I think that the rhetoric we're seeing that is escalating into violence, threats to genocide against the Jewish people, this is a threat here and now we're seeing in broad daylight on streets across the country, and that needs to stop.
Madame Freeland, do you have any things to say to the Israeli? Do you have anything to say to the Israel diaspora?
Be here, ma'am.
Madam Freeland, do you have something to say to the Israel diaspora who live in fear since a year and a half? Madam Freeland? So scared of me that she had to ask bodyguard for traveling with her until her car.
Stay on the sidewalk, please.
She refused accountability. This is our elected official. The Liberals did campaign saying we have a plan, we have a plan, we have a plan, and they have no budget. What is your impression of that?
I mean, it was a great slogan that, Mark Carney had. We have a plan. Show it to us. And this budget, first he said they wouldn't have a budget. Then they'd have a mini budget. And now they're going to have a budget in the fall when already there's going to be half a year of spending. What kind of plan is that?
Vous êtes sûr que vous ne voulez pas répondre au fait que si c'était éthique de avoir votre campagne contre les Américains?
On va prendre une grande conversation, mais c'était un plaisir de vous rencontrer aujourd'hui.
On a su à la dernière minute que les contre-tarifs avaient été enlevés à la dernière minute.
Non, c'est très décevant de voir qu'il n'a pas donné leur juste aux Canadiens. Peut-être que les résultats auraient été différents. Alors, c'est sûr qu'on est déçus de voir que le premier ministre n'a pas exposé aux Canadiens toute son attitude, toute l'approche qu'il avait. Mais c'est pas vraiment... Malheureusement, il y avait eu un précédent aussi quand il avait dit que le président Trump n'avait pas abordé la question de la souveraineté, alors que finalement, grâce à Laurence Martin de Radio-Canada, on a appris que non, au contraire, ça avait été abordé. Alors, il y avait déjà induit la population en erreur, encore une fois. Et c'est pour ça qu'on a hâte que la Chambre reprenne pour pouvoir se faire, que la période des questions reprend. Dans 2 jours, on aura plein de questions pour lui.
Can I ask you quickly if the Liberals have approached the NDP to jump with them to get them the majority? Do someone in your party was approached to go with the Liberals?
Not to my knowledge, no. No, and our 7 NDP MPs are all solid New Democrats, and I have every confidence that they're going to stay that.
Mm-hmm. Do you regret what Jagmeet Singh had done? Why do you think the Conservative lost?
Look, there was a number of factors. We're just very optimistic, especially for me. If you look across Canada, we made huge gains across the country. More than 8 million people voted for us, but a lot of the outreach work that us as a collective done under Pierre Poilievre, we made strides in communities that we never usually made those kind of gains in. It's only we're forward looking right now. We have a lot to look forward to.
Bonjour, M. Guilbeault, vous allez bien? Je me demandais, vous avez dit un commentaire récemment que les investisseurs n'étaient pas prêts justement à construire des nouveaux pipelines. Qui a raison? Est-ce que c'est vous ou c'est M. Carney? Parce que M. Carney s'était dit ouvert justement à construire des nouveaux projets énergétiques, dont les pipelines. Qui a raison? Est-ce que vous avez un commentaire à faire sur l'avertissement que le gouvernement israélien a récemment publié concernant si les gens sont des Israéliens ou des Juifs, d'être très, très, très prudents? Merci beaucoup. So I just asked Mr. Guilbeault, and I asked it in French because last time he said to me, why are you speaking in English? So this time I wanted to make sure that he understand my question. It was about his comment about the pipeline. I don't know if you remember, but Mr. Guilbeault said recently that investors are not looking into building more pipeline here in Canada, while Mr. Carney said that he is open, he wants to build more energy project here in Canada. So I asked him who is right, who tells the truth. Any word, Mister, about the Israeli government
I don't talk to
warning?
rebel news. No, you're not a real journalist.
It's not real news.
Leave us alone.
It's not real news.
I'm sorry. Do you believe that
Can you leave me
the
alone?
public servant should be accountable?
Leave me alone.
Journalists
Do you
should be
believe
accountable.
on
Should have real
the
news.
freedom of press? Do you believe on freedom of the press?
You're not a real journalist. Stop pretending to be one.
What
You're not
do
a
you
real
mean
journalist.
we are not?
You're not.
We are bringing
You're not. You're-
politicians accountable.
You're not a real journalist. Rebel news is
So you
not
don't
a real-
believe on freedom of the
You're
press?
not, but you're not press.
I'm
you,
press.
You are not.
Yeah, I
you're
do.
not. You're registered as a lobbying.
So what is it for you, a
organization.
journalist?
You're not.
What is
A
it
me-
for you, a journalist?
A non-partisan media house that's recognized.
So you think
Rebel
that
New-
CBC
Rebel
is,
News not,
completely
Rebel News
neutral?
is not a
So
journalism
you think that
outlet.
CBC is neutral?
You're not a journalist. Stop
I'm
pretending to
asking
be
you.
one.
Wow. Can you believe that? You have it, guys. You have the proof now. You just see a Liberals MP just say that, oh, we are not a journalist. So they are not believing on freedom of the press. And they might pretend that the CBC is a neutral outlet, not a journalist. Do the Liberals...
I will answer to your media.
Why?
Because it's the same reason that media was not doing it before.
Well, you don't think that as a public servant, you should be accountable and answer to citizens as well as any kind of media?
I just gave a press conference in the foyer.
Who are you?
Je suis journaliste avec Rebelle.
Bonne journée.
Vous êtes pour le Bloc?
Bonne journée.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez pensé de la visite du roi? On a vu que l'Alberta veut se séparer. Est-ce que vous allez reconnaître justement la souveraineté s'il décide de se séparer?
Bonne journée.
Pourquoi vous ne voulez pas discuter? Hein? Pourquoi vous ne voulez pas discuter? Ouais, c'est une simple question. Est-ce que vous allez reconnaître la souveraineté de l'Alberta s'il décide de se séparer, comme les gens l'ont fait pour le Québec s'ils voulaient se séparer? Rien à dire, vous, pour la souveraineté de l'Alberta, si vous allez reconnaître la souveraineté, si... oui, la décision s'il décide de se séparer? So I had some interaction, but you had some interaction too, Chris Dacey. You had Anthony Osfather. Can you a little bit tell me about your interaction?
Yeah, so I was asking him about the ongoing problem with anti-Israeli protesters. And I mean, the biggest gist of it was that he said that it's the responsibility of police, not politicians, to deal with these things. He did say he was in favor of bubble zone bylaws. And I kind of pressed back and said that I don't necessarily agree with those bylaws. We already have laws on the books to deal with this, and police aren't enforcing those laws. And I asked him what we could do about that, and then he really didn't have much of an answer.
I mean, again, I'm not sure I wasn't there.
Well, did you see the blood splattered on the front of the steps of the House of Commons?
Yeah,
The big blood?
there should be law enforcement.
Yeah, I think we agree on this, but the law enforcement is not doing anything. We have open threats, like they were down at
There
the
should not
Israeli
be open
embassy.
threats, and there should not be law. And there's law enforcement should make sure that if anybody crosses the line and breaks the law, they're charged. But that's a question of law enforcement, not for politicians. The criminal code, in my view, gives ample powers to law enforcement to.
I tend to agree.
To act.
So, well, law enforcement isn't acting. So then, how do we, as citizens, or aside from asking our politicians for help, what do we do about this?
Well, the city of Toronto just adopted bubble legislation.
Well,
I mean, the
that's
city of
also
Toronto-
concerning.
I think I personally support bubble legislation.
Okay. Fair enough.
Again,
I think what I think is that
the end result is municipal leaders, as
Yes.
I said before,
Yeah.
need to make sure that police forces enforce the criminal code.
Yeah, I definitely
People
agree.
need-
I
need
think
to
that
say-
those laws already exist, though. Like even without the bubble law, I think the laws exist and aren't being
I don't
enforced.
disagree with you. There are
Okay.
many
Yeah, I
provisions
think
in
we're
the
kind of on the
criminal
same
code
page.
that could actually be enforceable.
So they're basically areas around, I believe right now in Toronto is where they're doing it, but it's around places of worship. So we have seen similar things used in other cities. I believe it was Calgary, and it was a pastor, Derek Reimer, who was put in jail and has been going through quite a bit of turmoil from some of these bylaws that have been added. And he's a very peaceful guy, a pastor. But my concern is that these bubble bylaws, first of all, we have laws in place that could prevent what's going on now. They aren't being enforced. All these extra laws do is allow more, I think, or the possibility of tamping protest. And I don't want to see that happen. We have laws, they should be used.
We make those politicians accountable. Some are really afraid of us, as you were able to see. But if you want to contribute to our journalism and make sure we are bringing you the other side of the story, please chip in at rebelfieldreports.com. Thank you for supporting us.